Thank you, Swan. Your story is my story, and that's where I came from, and I'm very proud that you shared that, and really looking forward to what we're working on right now, and looking at the health life expectancy disparities within zip codes. I really love the question, and I'm just, for me, I'm very passionate about Western Duluth, so I get a little funny when Western Duluth is not even mentioned in here, so I'm just going to throw that out. And especially since I'm running for the 5th district. We have zip code disparities throughout the city of Duluth. We have housing, we have a lack of housing, and people should be able to choose where they want to live, especially over on the eastern side of town or the western side of town. Right now, out in West Duluth, we just don't have enough housing, and so it's very important that we're looking at where we're putting housing and where we're allowing people to live.
Thank you, Candidate Kennedy.
Thank you.
Just so I get you on the...
Yes.
That's a yes? All right.
All right, next will be Candidate Westerland.
Great, thanks for sharing your story, Salam. I am aware of the fact that there are certain neighborhoods that are, it's a great fact sheet about it, but that are affordable for folks, and there are neighborhoods that are not. And District 3, where I hope to represent, is one of those neighborhoods where there's a high concentration of the low-income housing we do have available and the affordable housing we have available. And I've been hearing when I've been out talking to people at their doors that they want choice and they want to feel empowered. And a way that I think that we can support that is to offer incentives for developers to develop mixed-use housing or mixed-rate housing in other neighborhoods. We see TIFs, or tax increment financing, being used to help business owners and other housing developers, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to use some of those tools for affordable and mixed-use housing developments. So that's a yes. And I just wanted to illustrate one tool that I think we could use to effectively do that as a governmental entity.
Candidate Larson.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. I do believe that all neighborhoods should be ones of choice and opportunity, and I believe really firmly that every family deserves to feel safe, deserves to have choice, deserves to choose the path for their family. So my answer is yes. I would support this. I have supported this, and there are two ways we can do it. One is setting policy, and when we're talking with developers, really ensuring that when they're looking at development in particular neighborhoods, that we're including affordable housing as a consideration of how we prioritize that. The second is working with our HRA to help ensure that there is creation of affordable housing throughout the entire city. So absolutely yes.
Candidate Hansen.
The answer is yes. I've actually had the opportunity to work on a variety of different housing projects in my career, and so just like a couple of our candidates said, we have some real tangible ability to do that as city councilors by utilizing policy and working with the developers, but also having a variety of tools. There's also a few different housing tools that have come available in the state, and the city is applying for some different funding that's focused on workforce housing and putting people into home ownership and energy. Part of that hopefully would start to address some of those issues in our older homes, because we're trying to rehab them so they're not making us sick by living there. Thank you for your story, Salam.
Candidate Booth.
The answer is yes. I've been on the HRA board for 6 years. I was chairman of the board for 3 years. During that time, we did scattered housing all the way through Duluth. I brought a map because the misconception is that there isn't housing throughout Duluth. And if you pass this map around, you can see that all the way through Duluth, there is definitely scattered housing. Matterhorn is up in Duluth Heights and up in the Hermantown area. That was our newest part of multifamily housing. It's not on the hillside. It's not in Lincoln Park. We also took down the project on top of Mesabi Avenue, and we rebuilt those with beautiful, beautiful homes. And you also have Section 8 vouchers that can be used in St. Louis County, Lake County, Cook County, and St. Louis County. So I'm defending the HRA by saying they're doing everything they can to get housing equitable through all the neighborhoods.
Thank you,
I know because
Candidate
I've been there.
Candidate Hobbs.
Yes, I support, we have to have housing throughout the entire city. You shouldn't have to be a prisoner to a lifestyle based off of the zip code that you live in. I was an organizer for CHUM right out of college, and we have some pretty substandard rental properties. And I think moving forward, when we have new development, there should be a percentage of affordable and low-income housing, and also certainly work with the HRA, continue to work with them, and make sure it's through the entire city and not concentrated into just two or three neighborhoods. And so I'm fully supportive of that and will advocate for that.
Candidate Osbakken?
My answer is yes. And there are other problems with housing. I was at a landlords association meeting. There are properties throughout the city that are not rentable because they were built at a time when codes were different, but they're certainly livable properties and affordable. But the city prevents them from being offered. That could be changed. People cannot afford housing in this city, and there's a huge number that cannot afford more than an efficiency or one bedroom, and these are people with children. So we could possibly institute rent control for a period of time, because our salaries, our wages are not keeping up with rent.
Thank you, Candidate Osbakken. Candidate Anderson?
Thank you, Salome. I hope to be representing the people in the 1st District, which is the far eastern end of the city. And one example of mixed income housing that we have actually in the district is Hawk Ridge Estates. And for people who are able to work with one-roof housing, there's an option there. And I'm always glad to be able to point that out to people in my district. And that said, I also realize that the people in my districts, myself included, are people who, for the most part, many of us really live in privilege and come from privilege. And as we want to have not only affordable homes, but we want to have affordable rentals. And that will be a significant change in the east end of town. And my job as a city councilor is to help support people when they are nervous about change. Housing rentals and apartment rentals need to be thought of not just home ownership, and that's policy that we can help to effect as councilors. Thank you.
And Candidate
That's a yes.
Thanks for your story, Salam. And the answer is yes. And for me, the answer is yes, because we know that communities where people from different backgrounds and different incomes live together and get to know each other are the healthiest communities. And so this is something that's going to make us a healthier community. And so the answer is yes. But I want to just share too, it's not going to be easy because, as Gary said, this causes nervousness sometimes, and not everyone fully embraces that understanding that we have, that neighborhoods where people from different backgrounds and incomes live together are the healthiest. So it's going to take some real leadership. It's not going to be easy. It's easier for us to say it yes tonight because we all believe in it. But what I think we need to do as a community, everyone in the room, everyone who's sitting up here, everyone who's involved with these issues, is work together really, really hard to figure out how to make it happen, because it's going to take some real work to do better on this than we have. And I'll just say too, on housing in general.
Sorry, thank you,
I'm out.
Candidate Cypress. Sorry.
Goes fast.